when we take the afro off of the mic?
Yeah, now see if it's any clearer.
You tell me.
Maybe you should rap for a test. I think your rap theme to test your microphone should be Michelle's ordination.
Oh, I
think
don't
it
know
is.
if I could do that.
I think it is clearer.
Okay.
That's a little better.
That's
Yeah, it's a little better.
It's better. It's actually a lot clearer.
Oh my gosh.
Your afro was hurting you. I'll rap for Michelle's ordination.
Not rapping. My gift for your ordination, Michelle, is I will not rap. That's my gift to you from me.
Yeah.
Ordination. We're calling all the people from every generation. We got all nations, not the one from Atlanta, ATL, just the ones that you wish you could spell. Yeah, that's right. The nations that Michelle going to with her ordinations, because she taking the gospel worldwide. Booyah.
It had me until the ATL thing, man. I'm like, where's he going? That's like an
ATL
avenue down a dark street. I don't know where he went.
Yeah, for Atlanta.
My word.
I used to have a friend that painted cars. He's not my friend anymore, but he had a hat that said LB on it. Just had an LB on it. It was like, oh, that's cool. I like your hat, man. What's the LB stand for? He goes, Atlanta Braves.
Welcome to Second Take at Eastlake, a podcast of Eastlake Community Church in Irmo, South Carolina. You are invited to join us any Sunday at 9 or 11.
All right. Did everybody have a good lunch?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Okay.
So you didn't get no cake, Philip?
No, I didn't. I went to Kava. They fed me all the stuff from the earth, all this organic stuff that, it's good, but it's also bad.
It's good.
Because deep down, you really wish you had a birthday cake. Yeah.
This chantilly cake.
Yeah.
I steered you correctly, didn't I, Ray? I told you what to eat.
You did.
Yeah.
You did. That was good cake. It had strawberries, had this fruity center to it, man. The cake was moist, and then it had a buttercream icing.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was hoping you got back to get some of that, man.
I might need to wrap this podcast up real quick. Sneak it in there.
I think it's gone.
I'll just point out that y'all could have cut a couple pieces and put them in the fridge.
Thanks, Rob. I know.
It's that simple.
I've made it known.
That for Philip before.
It's true. He has. That's actually true. All right, guys.
I did not. I was just trying to get here somewhere close to on time.
Michelle.
What?
Okay, here we go. It's time for podcast trivia, Eastlake Community Church style. All right.
Oh boy.
All right. Here's the thing. The winner of this podcast gets prime seating at the Memorial Day Lake Day Bash. You get prime seating. When everybody's fumbling with their paper plates trying to find a seat, the winner of this question gets everybody has to back away and give you your throne, okay? All right, here we go. Are you ready? When was Eastlake founded?
1998.
I don't even know if that's true.
You don't even know if that's true.
No, it's 97 because we just celebrated 25 years in 22.
It's 97. Okay, Rob wins for trying. Okay, let's get to the real trivia.
That's always the way it works.
Well, that we'll give you a point, Rob. We want you to win. We're tired of you losing. Rob, when you
Always
lose,
what they do. They're like, oh, that was just, we were running through it.
it's more work for us when you lose, Rob, than it is for you. It hurts me. This hurts me more than it hurts you.
Oh boy.
Okay, here we go. This is good. I looked this up on the Google. Which Caribbean island is closest to the United States coast?
Bermuda?
No clue.
You guys don't know this?
Wait, closest to wait, I need some definition. Closest to the United States.
United
Mainland?
States coast. It's a Caribbean island closest to the United States coast.
Hispaniola is close to Puerto Rico, which is part of the United States, and it's only separated by about 25 miles. So if something's not close.
Would anybody else like to try?
Jamaica.
What's closer than 25 miles?
It is a tiny island. It's a tiny Bahamian island named Bimini, just located 50 miles east of Miami, Florida. All right.
Bimini.
I got another one for you. This is a good one. What U.S. store first popularized malted milkshakes?
Woolworth.
Who?
Woolworth.
Nope.
Kmart.
Nope.
GC Murphy's.
Nope.
Not GC Murphy?
Nope. You're never gonna believe this, but you're gonna be shocked. Are you ready for the truth?
White Cross.
Walgreens.
Walgreens.
It says,
outside of Chicago.
It says a savvy soda clerk named Ivar Pop Coulson added scoops of Walgreens' own ice cream that created a sensational sweet treat. Wow. That was pretty good. Would you guys like to do science, entertainment, or geography for our final question? Or general?
Entertainment.
Entertainment?
Do
Okay.
we look like science people? I wish.
Okay. This is so much fun for me because I don't have to answer.
Except for Philip. We look intelligent.
You guys do look intelligent. I did notice my phone was hard to see the other day, but I don't think it's anything serious. It's probably just bad lighting. All right, here we go.
That's what we all said at one time.
This is for the final Whomper. This is the final Whomper to get front row seating at the Lake Day on Memorial Day. Okay. In the TV show, The Simpsons, Michelle, this is a sinful television show. I don't want you to answer this. You are freshly ordained.
I probably won't be able to.
Yeah, you're freshly ordained. In the TV show, The Simpsons, what store is Quick E Mart's main competitor? You don't know. Gulp and Go. I didn't know that either.
Heard of it?
I hadn't even heard of it. You want to try one more? I'm just having so much fun. This is probably getting boring.
We gotta have a winner.
Okay. Let me keep looking. Hang on. Okay. Michelle, you could get in on this. All right.
Okay.
Nashville, Tennessee this is a general, by the way, general category for 500. Nashville, Tennessee is widely considered the birthplace of which dish? Huh?
Hot chicken.
Yes! Actually, I don't even know what hot chicken is.
I do.
I don't.
I was waiting for the choices.
Well, when there were no choices forthcoming, I'm like, I'm going to get in on this.
Wow.
I was like, I can't believe I answered this first.
If you see Michelle at the Lake Day, you better give her a seat when she's fumbling with her thin paper plate, fully loaded. Oh my gosh. What's a hot chicken?
Nashville hot chicken?
Like that, yeah. KFC.
They have it at Publix.
They've been doing it at KFC. They did a whole sandwich.
Is it just like a hot wing and a chicken?
No. So it is a hot oil, like a spicy cayenne spicy oil. It's drizzled over the chicken. And let me tell you, it is spicy, good chicken.
Mm.
You know who loves it? Is Zeke Riddle.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Interesting.
Let's see. Here's the.
Surprised me.
There are
This
whole
is-
restaurants that are Nashville hot chicken. Yeah, it looks red and spicy, but you can get it at Publix.
Wow. Okay. I like it. I like it. You guys ready to
this
get?
looks like the southern way to serve hot chicken.
Oh yeah,
on
that
a
looks more
slab
oily.
of
White bread and pickles.
and some pickles.
Oh, that looks good to me. That looks like just a big fat piece of hot wing, minus the bones.
Right.
Y'all see the picture? That's the first view of the picture of the band. I can show it because he doesn't watch it. That we got framed for Mr. Lay.
Ooh, very cool.
Sign all around it. Isn't that awesome?
That is awesome.
That's so fun.
It's gonna make
It's the
him cry.
biggest one he's got in his office. But I'm not trying to beat out anybody else.
Sure, you're not.
All right, guys, let's get to Sunday. Let's recap. There was a lot of fun on Sunday. What was your favorite part? Was there anything that you loved on Sunday before we talk about the sermon?
You mean the whole time?
Yeah, anything that you just said, ooh, I like
Those
church today.
family dedications.
Those are cool.
I love
yeah.
those.
Yep. Those were some
I
pretty
like that.
well-behaved babies.
They did pretty well.
Yeah.
There was some smells going on up there that y'all couldn't smell, but they were
Ooh.
good besides that. There was at least one. There was at least one that I was afraid was going to turn into an explosion.
Oh boy.
but it's okay. I heard it. You know what? For me, dedications for sure, but y'all worship was off the chain.
Yeah,
Man,
that was fun.
my favorite one was Brandon leading. I think was that his first time.
It was
Like
Brandon's
leading?
very first time to lead.
I mean, I
He
like
was-
all that was good.
Yes,
Yeah.
he was tearing it up.
And he has a good leadership, like up front kind of like energy where he wasn't timid or anything. It felt to me like he just wanted everybody to get in on what he was in on. It was like, you guys got to join me. Yeah, I like that too. That was cool. Yeah, my wife got to rock babies, and she's still talking about how much fun she had.
All
still-
right.
Today, she was
I-
still talking about it.
I was with her.
Yeah, that's cool.
I like seeing the body sing and have a good time. They
Yeah.
were really into it.
Yeah, they were.
Good.
They were. Well, it was good. If you guys missed it, you just got to come Sunday. You got to come every week. You can't miss anything. That's just the
Because
way
you
it
never
is.
know when you're going to miss the week.
That's right.
You never know when the roof. We're gonna raise the roof. That's cool.
And we
So,
raised the roof.
We definitely raised the roof. So this Sunday, Rob was teaching When Helping Hurts, and what was the title of this one officially?
I didn't have a cute title for it, but on the BID, it was joining God where He's already working.
Ooh, perfect
Use
segue.
that. Sometimes I'll tweak it like I want it to sound cool, but that was perfect. Just joining God where He's already at work.
Mhm. I have so many times wanted God to work where I'm at. You know, like this is what I'm doing. God bless it. God bless me where I'm at, as opposed to stepping back and seeing where God is blessing. So one of the like triggering, it wasn't triggering, but you know, one of the really cool things that you talked about was this whole idea, and probably a lot of our listeners will have felt this before, this concept of we need to put God back into the government, or we need to put God back into schools, or the problem today is that we you know, quit doing prayer in schools, or the problem today is that, you know, fill in the blank. And you know, Rob's point was God is omnipresent. He's everywhere. It's not like God's like out there, oh shoot, if only. But like dig in a little bit more to that, Rob. Like what were you saying there? Because it was good.
Let me explain the where and why that's an important statement to me too. I once spent a lot of time feeling like it was a burden that I had to carry to bring God into the places that I went. And it was given to me by well-intentioned older Christians when I was a young baby Christian, who I know what they were trying to tell me. They were trying to tell me, go and be Jesus to people. in the places you go. But the way the message was conveyed, and has been conveyed, I think, far too much in America, is that if we don't act, God is somehow going to be absent from places in our world. And I feel really strongly, again, not out of a sense of judgment towards anyone, but I want to free people up. And this sermon allowed me to make that statement, because the passages I was in and the topic I was on are saying exactly that. We don't bring God places. We go where God's already at work, and we become the hands and feet of Christ for him, because he allows us to be. And so it takes away the burden of, I got to get God back into that school down the street. No, you don't. You need to figure out what God wants you to do in that school down the street.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a much more freeing or freedom approach to what our call is from God. Because if I can just look and see what he's doing there and just join alongside of him, guess what? I don't have it all. The only burden I have is the burden of obedience.
Mm-hmm.
And all of the rest of it is carried by him. And I think
right.
that's really what I wanted to communicate. And again, I don't think it's a bad thought. I don't think the motive behind the statements, let's get God back in the schools, is necessarily evil at all. I don't even think it's meant to be damaging. I just think it's a misunderstanding of our call, and in some cases it causes damage because we get militant about it instead of just going in with love, compassion, and service.
Mm-hmm. And seeing where God is working is the key, and so that I would love to just get you guys feedback. Where, like right now in your life, do you see God working? Where are the places that you see yourself investing time and energy, and like, oh, I see that God is moving. So like basically us putting this concept into practice, does that assist you in your call? And if so, what do you like? How do you, I know Rob does the band, and yeah, but like it can even go more than that. But like, so like, let's just kind of try putting that into practice, maybe even within our church. So obviously God's working in our church. How do you see that?
So one of the things that has happened over, I'd say, the last 18 months with me is that I have a lot of young women that are seeking me out. And I mean women 19 to maybe 25, 26, in that age group. And so it's interesting to me that is happening. And
Yep.
so, I can see that God is doing something there.
Yeah. See, that's how it works. I love that.
I would say there are two places that I can think of. So, right now we're in the middle of the elder nomination season. And so probably about 14, 16 months ago, we started a leadership group where people they're either partners at East Lake, they serve at East Lake, or they've been through some of our core curriculum, that just want to be better leaders, not necessarily at East Lake per se, but just want to be better leaders at life. And so we meet once a month to go over material. God is at work there, because also some of those individuals are people that may come up in a conversation about the next elders. And then another place is where the last men's retreat, they said that we didn't have enough spaces for guys to connect into a men's study that wasn't every man a warrior. And so, because once you get 3 weeks in, that group is closed. And so we created some spots where there's just a book study or a Bible study that's happening every week at like 7 a.m. somewhere at the church. And so God is at work there, because guys that are not a part of East Lake that come in and like, hey, I want to get connected, they have a way to get connected.
Mm-hmm.
I would add to that, I've noticed an uptick in the startups of Every Man a Warrior, to where it's not so much if you miss one you don't have that long to wait, it seems lately, before another one starts to materialize because somebody's ready to go. So
Yep.
I would add that to it as well.
Yep. That's so good. I'm seeing it like in my ministry. I'm seeing God blessing us with a lot of leaders. People who, I mean, like we just said, Brandon Jones, who led for the first time this Sunday. Brandon's never led a song before, and just comes out and confidently leads a room of people in worshiping God. And so for me, I'm seeing God working there. So I want to put my energy into equipping, training, discipling, mentoring these people, because it's like, okay, I see you're doing this, God. I want to jump on this. So I guess I wanted to ask that question because I feel like our listeners might be amening, saying, that's right, we need to do this. But then how do they apply that to their lives? And so maybe for them, if you're amening on Sunday and then it's Wednesday and you're saying, okay, so where's God working? This is how we're doing it. This is how we see it. It might be that you're a teacher and you see that God has given you, more minority kids than not. Or it might be that all of a sudden you find yourself in a lot of relationships with parents, and you might be seeing your ministry to parents. It might be that you're a parent and you're doing a lot of play dates with your kids, and you might find your ministry is to other moms or dads. Just look at where God's working and putting you and providing, and then start to see how you can turn that into getting on board with loving people. It's not that you have to turn that into a church necessarily. It's that you can find out how to love God and love people in those environments.
Yeah.
And that's good stuff. So another good one, Rob, you had a lot of really good points this Sunday. Another one was about paternalism. That sounds like, I don't know, it sounds like an intense word right there, but paternalism,
Yeah.
you want to define it? Do you have it
Yeah,
written
let me give you
down?
the big one. So I
Okay.
have it right here in front of me. To make sure I read it the same way I did on Sunday, because there's several ways that I could say this. But here's the long one, the one that would not work as a back tattoo. It goes like this: Paternalism is actions that knowingly or unknowingly limit a person or group's liberty, dignity, value, worth, or autonomy, and is intended to promote the good of the person doing the action, not the person the action is being done alongside. So the idea is, let's say it another way, doing things for others that they could do for themselves to make you look good.
Yep.
Or feel good.
Guilty. I'm guilty many times.
And there.
Yeah.
And Ray, you brought up something this morning in teaching team, which I did not dive into, but we think of this in the context of mission work outside of our houses. You brought up a very specific group of people that we can sometimes do this for in our house. And I was wondering if you could elaborate on what you were sharing, because I agree with you. And I think it'd be great for you to share it.
Yeah, one of the things we do in teaching team is we review the Sunday message as a team to just celebrate and reflect. And one of the questions is, what did I learn about me from the preached message? And what I learned about myself personally is that paternalism is something that I need to be actively on guard about, because I can find myself slipping into that as a parent, as well as a pastor. How many times has it been for you, and this works well in our context, that it's easier for me to just do it myself than it is to hope that somebody else will step up and do it, that's been entrusted to actually do it. But you're looking at your watch, it's not done, time is ticking down, and I'm gonna do it. And then of course, Michelle or Rob or Philip will see me doing it, and they'll tell me, man, that's awesome, I'm glad you're doing that, or whatever. And I'm doing it because I want to be seen doing something, because we already have a horrible reputation of not doing anything outside of Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And that didn't come from us.
Right. That's cultural.
That's cultural. And so even as parents, we can find ourselves doing stuff for our teenagers or even adult children or near adult children that really they should be doing. And we're handicapping them.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Now, when we first went out, remember, Ray, when we did When Helping Hurts in what, 4 weeks, we were trying to, we were introducing it into groups and we were trying to get it done anyway, that's not the way to go about When Helping Hurts, no matter how fast people think we should be able to read, because it's just too much to digest. But when we went out into the groups and had discussions, that's one of the things that came up in those groups was people talked about just how, wow, I could have really used that, when my kids were young adults. I let them, stay in the house, or I continued to provide for them longer than was really healthy for me to do that.
Yeah.
And it was an interesting conversation, watching people recognize that about themselves. So there's lots of places where paternalism is something that can happen.
Mm-hmm. It's
I
interesting.
think if you haven't read the book, I mean, yeah, maybe you've come every Sunday and that's great. But if you haven't read the book, please hear Pastor Michelle. The way we talk about the way we did this in 2019, it was wrong. I mean, I could actually bring that up. We probably hurt people because we were asking them to digest this massive book that really changes the way you look and do ministry. And so I would encourage you, if you didn't read the book, go ahead, pick it up and maybe start, over summer reading. And I'm telling you, if you get through the first 4 or 5 chapters, you'll have what you need.
Mm-hmm.
The book is longer than that, but if you get through the first 4 to 5 chapters, which is what most of the context is that we're disseminating on a Sunday morning, is covering.
Mm-hmm. How has, since we've gone through this as a core curriculum, and I think we can do this without speaking poorly about the past, only because I mean, we've all done these things. So when we answer this next question, we're not trying to speak poorly about the past, but I want to know, how has it changed over the last few years since using this as a core curriculum? Like, what are some things that we just do differently when we're trying to help people because of this concept of paternalism and When Helping Hurts?
I mean, I think one thing that we're in the middle of right now, which is definitely not about the past. This is a change with this staff. As things have come to light, is we're about to sit down and have face-to-face conversations with our partners about how we go about serving them. Because we had the realization that, we want our people to serve. It is part of their spiritual development. It is part of their spiritual formation to learn to get outside of themselves and serve. And that's our heart. It's not a box check thing. But in the process of trying to do that, we've discovered that we were causing some of our partners to have to work days they wouldn't normally work. And we're not really sure, after sitting down and talking about it as a staff, we're like, have we ever sat with them and found out what are your needs and explain to them what our goals are and why we're trying to do what we're doing. So, I mean, that's just, we're all still growing.
Mm-hmm.
And, everybody on this podcast has read this book and has been aware of this approach for a number of years now, but we're still learning to apply it.
That is so key, what you just said, Michelle, because I think this is an ongoing process that has to be evaluated in our own lives on a regular basis, as well as in our ministry lives. Like, we can be in a partnership that is healthy for a while, and if we're not willing to evaluate how we're doing in that relationship, what was once healthy can become unhealthy.
Mm-hmm.
Like a marriage, which is a commitment, you have to make it work. There can be seasons in which, if you're not careful, God is calling you away from a partner because you have done all that you can do to help them. And someone else needs to step in and they have the next level, or the partner needs to realize that, we got to stand on our own. And I think that's what I love about us as a staff is we're not afraid to have those conversations. I'm not saying we're perfect and we're nailing it. Like you just said, we don't always nail it, but we don't stop talking about it.
Right.
Conversation about how are we doing. And I'm in a conversation with one of our partners now. I won't go into all the details, but it's been a delightful moment of reflection with each other on, okay, what does this look like moving forward so that we get healthier every time we have an interaction?
Mm-hmm.
Healthy, but healthier is the goal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in any and every relationship, change is inevitable because we are changing. You know, who you got married to 15 years ago is different today than they were 15 years ago. If nothing else, they've aged. You know, there are things that you used to do that you can no longer do. And the beauty of us being on the same page regarding this particular subject matter, as we as a church change, as our congregation changes, as our partners change, we have to be open and humble to ask questions. You know, yeah, we used to do that. Is that really helpful for you anymore? You know, and be ready to make that change. Maybe we don't need to go as on many trips as we used to do years ago. Maybe now how we best serve them is financially supporting them, or maybe sending fewer people to actually work on the relationship or training. We have to continue to have these conversations. So yes, we're wrapping it up this Sunday with When Helping Hurts. But please don't think for a second that we're not going to revisit this in a couple of years, 18 months or 2 years. Why? Because we change. We're all going through changes.
Yep. I know for me, I have gone on mission trips where, and this is just part of being a musician, but you go into a place that might not have the things that you have, and everybody's excited that you're there. So I get to be the hero. I mean, I go in with my fancy guitar made in America, you know, and my equipment and my in-ear monitors and all the things that are so cool. And honestly, in other countries, they would long to have all these things. And then you get up and you lead worship and you do all this, and it's, wow, this is what a great this, that. But then you leave, and then the ministry is left with what they had before, which is great, but it makes you actually hurt them, because now you've shown them something that they don't get to have in theory, versus going there and building their people up, elevating their people, equipping, training their people. Oh, you need some monitors so you can hear. Oh, we can help fund those monitors for you, or whatever, and setting them up for success. So to me, in that scenario, I'm not the hero. They're the hero. So when I leave, they are set with more success in their future. They're helped. They're not hurt. That's how paternalism plays out for me as a worship pastor. And it's real obvious to me now, but it has not been that obvious through years past. But yeah, so that's what I want to be doing for people. You know, I want to be helping them. What do you need? And which brings us to another question that I just love, which was, I think it was one of Rob's last 3 points, which was practice listening. So when we're interacting with ministry opportunities, partners, missions, whatever, when we're doing ministry in our life, practicing listening. Now, I would consider myself on a scale of 1 to 10, maybe like a 1. Not really. I don't know. I might be a 5. But somebody who I think is really good at this is Michelle, because she's been trained in this as part of her coaching training. And so I thought it would be really interesting to just hear from Michelle, like, is there anything that you can just like, is there any secret? Or are you going to bill us if you give us your secrets? But like, is there anything that they teach you in coaching that you can share without having to send me an invoice?
Right.
Sure. Rob, why are you laughing?
You let into that.
Okay.
Sensei
I
of
was like, all right, what's up here? So, you know, I can tell you a couple things, but you've got to practice.
Oh, Michelle, I got to do them.
I know.
This is the
So
worst. I'm
when I
already
was in
exhausted.
So when I was in coach training, one of the number one things that's a barrier to good communication is not listening. And one of the things that you have to do if you're going to listen well is you have to quiet the voice in your head. Because most of the time when someone is talking, we are thinking about our response or relating it to something in our life. And so we come back and we respond to them with advice or thoughts or something that maybe isn't useful. Where if we will purpose to not let the chatter go on in our heads and listen, they call it third level listening, that you're listening at a much higher level, you will hear things that you don't hear in a normal conversation. And so I actually, to do that well, I sometimes feel like I actually have to be intentional. Like I have to say, okay, I am in a conversation where I need to practice those skills and set that aside. And people feel really valued when we listen to them. So that's the first thing, is set aside the chatter in your head.
That's good.
And that's such a good thing, because when I was delivering this, I was thinking of listening to the Holy Spirit only because I couldn't go into that depth. But in the back of my mind was the Holy Spirit's going to speak to me through the partner if I listen closely.
Yeah.
A lot of the time. You know, the listening in the GPS analogy was listening to what God is telling you to do by him showing you where you are. But you can't do that without doing what Michelle just said. If you're not listening to what the partner that you're, the person or the environment that you're looking to go into is saying to you, how in the world can you expect the Holy Spirit to declutter your mind enough for you to know, oh yeah, that's something I'm gifted to do? Because that's how we get stuck on the, I want to do that no matter what. If we were to take some time listening, we would go, oh, I'm not equipped for that at all. So that's not a me space. That's I'll call Ray. That sounds like something I would want Ray to have a conversation about, or Philip. And that's, I'm glad you brought that up, Philip and Michelle, because in the 35 minutes we have, we can't go into all of the ways we're talking about. But one of the key ways I hear the Holy Spirit is in the conversations I'm having with the places and the people that I'm trying to discern if I'm supposed to be helping or serving.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really good. And actually, as you were saying that, Rob, I was remembering your points at the end. You know, your how do I help without hurting? Practice listening was the second one, but before that is set aside your own agenda. And so, you know, the agenda could be the chatter in my head, but it could also be, I'm going into this conversation because I'm going to get this done while I'm here. And that almost never leads to where a really good, healthy conversation is.
No.
Man, you
good.
get to learn at that third level of listening, which I'm totally, you're like speaking my language right now, Michelle. I'm like full hippie mode right now. But at the third level of listening, you probably get to learn so much about the individual too. You know, not just what they need, but just what makes them tick. You can probably discern so much, and the Spirit can really speak to you through that time. Woo! That's really good. That's really good. She is going to invoice us. What, you know, what's your rate, Michelle? Is it like, you know, hot wings, pizza?
I haven't done coaching for pay for a while, but the last time I did it, it was $125 a session.
Oh my gosh, it's like $25 at least. She, you know, she drew that out. She was trying to rack up a bill.
No, I said $125 a session. Yeah.
Well, let's go back.
That's what I was
last week when I was defending her time off. During her time off, she would have been welcome to bill us for her coaching business. She's on the Eastlake clock now, so she can't bill us for a secondary
right.
So you're welcome. I just say this. Last week, you should bill us for last week, Michelle. You were off. You were on our clock.
We're gonna,
Still trying to win with that point. I did watch it this morning.
I do need to publicly apologize for muting Rob. I still feel bad about it.
I don't.
But
I was out of line,
I just
defending my friend.
really, I wanted to hear Michelle's response so bad.
You know, the irony of this, we brought this up in teaching team. I was the one, lamenting that we called her. Her answer provided the win for who?
Poor Rob.
That's good stuff.
The irony, man.
Well, on a considerably lighter note, because Ray has his fancy microphone sounding so good, I was just curious if we could maybe close out the podcast with Ray doing like a little like radio voice, or like, like the night radio, like, hey, this is Raymond Washington bringing you the night tunes, 107.9. But like, you got to get real close to the mic so we can get the full effect.
Thank you for tuning in to East Lake's online second take. We hope you will consider joining us again next week when we will have the Fantastic Four again, talking through what it is that we jammed in on Sunday morning. So this is your co-host, Reverend Ray Washington, signing off. And I'm going to toss it back to my right-hand man, Philip Oswald, the Great.
This is the Reverend Ray, formerly known for his barbecue rubs, now known for his pastoral positions.
We slow jam in the podcast.
Oh my word. Okay.
Oh,
I mean,
Michelle.
guys, I
How
want a
we
mic
lost
like that.
all of them.
I want a mic like that real bad. If we come back next week and I have a microphone like that, it's on.
Can I be honest? Mine arrived on Friday.
Oh! Did you order that during this podcast? Did you order that during this podcast?
We should try to do these things together. Maybe we could get bulk discounts.
I'm doing enough other recording stuff that I'm like, it's about time I replace that.
Oh my gosh.
You guys are too much for me. I can't work like this. I can't work with you people. Oh my gosh. Well, that was good. All right, guys, it's about that time to sign off, but I can't do it better than Ray, so I won't attempt. So we'll just say goodbye to everybody. See you guys soon. That was amazing, Ray.
East Lake Community Church is an intentional, multicultural community empowered by the Holy Spirit. We passionately pursue a loving relationship with God and everyone Jesus was sent to die for, here, near, and far.
Yeah, maybe, Ray, you could test your microphone doing the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air rap.
Oh, wait.
How does it go? Where does it start?
All right.
It's gonna lay
So
down.
you want the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. All right.
That mic does sound good.
Now, this is the story about how my life got flipped upside down. I'd like to take a minute, just sit right there so I can tell you how I came about the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. In West Philadelphia, born and raised on the playground where I spent most of my days, chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool, and all the shooting came, some b-ball outside the school. When I was a couple of guys who were up to no good, started making trouble in my neighborhood. I got in one little fight, and my mom got scared and said, "You're gonna move with your auntie and uncle in Bel-Air." I begged and I pleaded with her one day, but she packed up my suitcase and sent me on my way. She gave me a kiss and then gave me a ticket. I put my Walkman on and I said, I might as well kick it.
Oh, he's not doing the theme song. He's doing the solo, the release, the single release.
Oh yeah, Ray just went to another level.